Hi everyone. In this video, we are going to see the concepts and the tricks required to solve the problems in electrochemistry. In our previous video, we have discussed about the basic introduction about electrochemistry. If you didn't watch the video, the link is given in the description. You can view it. Let's go into the topic. Let us briefly recall the working principles of galvanic cell. Galvanic cell is used to convert the chemical energy into electrical energy. It consists of two half cells. Usually in half cell, a metal rod will be dipped into its respective salt solution. Here, zinc rod will be dipped in zinc sulfate solution at one half cell, and in another half cell, copper rod will be dipped in copper sulfate solution. And these two half cells are connected through a external circuit, and internally they connected through a salt bridge which contains saturated potassium chloride solution. Once the connection is done, zinc will gets oxidized to zinc 2 plus ion, and hence this half cell is known as oxidation half cell, and zinc metal is termed as the anode. Due to the oxidation of zinc to zinc 2 plus ion, the two electrons are produced which travels through the external wire and reaches the another half cell, where it reduces the copper 2 plus ion present in the electrolyte solution and gets deposited on copper metal. Since reduction takes place at this half cell, it is known as reduction half cell, and copper metal is termed as the cathode. And the flow of electrons in galvanic cell is usually from anode to cathode. The arrow mark indicates that. In case if you keep a voltmeter in the external circuit, we will come to know how much voltage is produced as a result of the cell reaction. And in this galvanic cell, 1.1 volt is produced. The purpose of keeping the salt bridge is not only to complete the circuit, but also it counterbalances the charges produced at oxidation as well as reduction half cell due to the cell reaction. Due to the oxidation, the positive charge is produced at oxidation half cell and negative charge is produced at the reduction half cell. So chloride ion moves towards the oxidation half cell and counterbalances the positive charge produced. In the meantime, potassium ion moves towards the reduction half cell and counterbalances the negative charge produced. Particularly KCl is used in the salt bridge because K plus and Cl minus ions are isoelectronic in nature and having similar ionic mobility. Now let us learn how to represent a galvanic cell. Let us take the same galvanic cell as an example. The corresponding cell representation is given here. Just see here the double slash in this cell representation that represents the salt bridge. From the left hand side of the salt bridge, we have the oxidation half cell that is mentioned here. From the right hand side of the salt bridge, we have the reduction half cell that is mentioned here. In the representation, we have to just represent the cell reaction that happens in the respective half cells. See, in the oxidation half cells, actually what happens, zinc metal is getting oxidized to zinc 2 plus ion. See, the zinc metal that is in the solid is getting oxidized to zinc 2 plus ion. Since zinc 2 plus ion is coming into the solution, it is mentioned as aqueous and the concentration is 1 molar. See, in the reduction half cell, we have the copper 2 plus is getting reduced to copper, that is mentioned here, that is copper 2 plus ion from the aqueous 1 molar solution is reduced to copper. Since it is deposited in copper metal, it is mentioned as solid. And this single slash that represents the phase boundary, that is phase boundary is nothing but the electrode electrolyte interface where the cell reaction takes place. In case if the electrolyte concentration is not 1 molar, we must represent as C1 and C2 molar concentrations in the cell representation. Now let us learn about the standard hydrogen electrode. Standard hydrogen electrode is used to calculate the potentials of various electrodes. Remember, to calculate the overall cell potential of galvanic cell, we must know the potentials of oxidation as well as reduction of cell. Unfortunately, there is no method is available to calculate the potential of any electrode. Only potential difference can be measured. In case if we know the potential of one electrode, by using the potential difference, we can calculate the potential of another electrode. For that purpose, standard hydrogen electrode is used, and the potential of standard hydrogen electrode will be taken as 0 volt. And this is the representation of standard hydrogen electrode. In this, a platinum electrode is immersed into a solution of 1 molar sulfuric acid, and hydrogen gas can be purged and can come out from the half cell. And the conditions are maintained as 1 atmospheric pressure and 298 Kelvin. And the advantage of standard hydrogen electrode is it can act as either anode or cathode depending upon the counter half cell. In case if standard hydrogen electrode is used as cathode, remember, in cathode reduction takes place. So reduction takes place, that is the H plus ion will get reduced to hydrogen and the potential is taken as 0. In case if standard hydrogen electrode is used as anode, the hydrogen will gets oxidized to H plus ion. Suppose if you want to measure a potential of any electrode, construct a galvanic cell by taking standard hydrogen electrode as anode or cathode and calculate the potential difference using the voltmeter, and the potential of the another electrode can be calculated by taking the potential of standard hydrogen electrode as 0 volt. Let us learn in detail. In case if you wish to measure the potential of zinc electrode, construct a galvanic cell by taking zinc as one half cell and standard hydrogen electrode as another half cell. Once the connection is done, the voltmeter will show how much voltage is produced as a result of cell reaction, and here 0.76 volt is produced as a result of cell reaction, and the overall cell potential value is calculated by using this formula, that is E naught cell. That E naught cell represents the overall cell potential, which is equal to the difference between the cathode and anode reduction potentials. See, the overall cell potential value is 0.76 in this case, and here since the hydrogen electrode acts as the cathode, that is taken as 0 volt, and from that value we can calculate the reduction potential of zinc electrode. And you may wonder why I have taken standard hydrogen electrode as cathode here, although it has the capacity to act as either anode or cathode. See, that is decided by means of the electron flow direction. See, in galvanic cell, as I have mentioned earlier, the electron flow is always from anode to cathode, and if you know the electron flow direction, you can come to know the standard hydrogen electrode, either it acts as cathode or anode. So here the electron flow is from zinc half cell to standard hydrogen electrode. So standard hydrogen electrode must act as the cathode in this case. So from this we can calculate the potential of zinc reduction potential, and the corresponding cell reaction is given here. See that, as I mentioned earlier, this double slash represents the salt bridge, and the left side we have the oxidation half cell, that is zinc is getting oxidized to Zn 2 plus ion, and in the right hand side see that hydrogen ions are reduced to H2 because standard hydrogen electrode acts as the cathode here, and see the condition here, hydrogen is gas and it is in 1 atmospheric pressure. See that in addition to this we have to mention the solid platinum electrode also in the case of standard hydrogen electrode. Suppose if you wish to calculate the reduction potential of copper 2 plus 2 copper, construct a galvanic cell by taking copper as one half cell and standard hydrogen electrode as another half cell, and measure the cell potential using the voltmeter. See here the value comes as 0.34 volt, and by using this formula we can easily calculate the reduction potential of copper 2 plus 2 copper by taking the potential of standard hydrogen electrode as 0. See here, the standard hydrogen electrode is taken as anode. Remember, the electron flow in a galvanic cell is always from anode to cathode, and in this particular galvanic cell, the electron flows from standard hydrogen electrode to the copper 2 plus 2 copper electrode. That represents the standard hydrogen electrode in this particular case acts as the anode. So by using this, we can calculate the reduction potential of any electrode, and that can be tabulated, and that table is nothing but your electrochemical series. And in our previous video, we have discussed enough about the electrochemical series, and this is the corresponding cell representation. In this case, since the standard hydrogen electrode acts as the anode, it is represented in the left hand side to the salt bridge. So far, we learned about the theoretical aspects of electrochemistry. Now let us learn the tricks and tactics to solve the problems in electrochemistry. First, let us calculate the cell potential. The thermodynamic relationship between delta G naught and E naught is given by delta G naught is equal to minus N of E naught, one of the most important formula in electrochemistry, where N is the number of electrons and F is the Faraday's constant, which is approximately equal to 96,500 coulombs. Since N and F can never be negative, the sign of E naught that decides the sign of delta G naught. See this. So delta G naught equal to minus N of E naught. There is a negative in the formula, and N and F. So N can never be negative and F can never be negative. The sign of E naught that decides the sign of delta G naught. See that in case if E naught is positive, what will happen? The sign of delta G naught will be negative. So that represents the spontaneous reaction. So E naught is positive means then delta G naught will be negative, indicating the spontaneous reaction. In case if E naught is negative, what will happen? The two negative, when we now multiply two negative, it gives the positive. So the sign of delta G naught will become positive. So if E naught is negative, delta G naught will be positive. That represents the non-spontaneous condition. So remember this when you solve the problems. This is one of the most important relationship, the sign of E naught and delta G naught. If E naught is positive, delta G naught is negative. If E naught is negative, delta G naught will be positive. To have the clear understanding, let us solve some problems. So in this problem, the reduction potentials of two half cells are given, and we are asked to calculate the EMF of the spontaneous cell reaction. So in this case, what we have to do, first let us write the reduction cell reactions of both the half cells. So we must write the reduction half cell reaction because the given potentials are reduction half cell potential. See, Zn2 plus to Zn, that reduction cell reaction is taken as equation 1, and Fe2 plus to Fe, that reduction half cell reaction is taken as 2. See, we must calculate equation 1 minus 2 and equation 2 minus 1. You know why? Remember the formula, delta G naught equal to minus N of E naught. If E naught is positive, delta G naught will be negative. So we have to calculate equation 1 minus 2 or 2 minus 1 so that the E naught should come as positive. So in this case, first let us calculate 1 minus 2. See that equation 1 minus 2, when we subtract, this is a typical arithmetic subtraction only. When we do the subtraction, let us change the sign of the second equation. And when we solve this, see that the two electrons cancels each other when we subtract, and Zn2 plus is as such comes here. since the sign of Fe2 plus is changed, it is minus Fe2 plus, and the zinc is coming as such, and the sign of, since the sign of Fe is changed, it is minus Fe. And in the meantime, we have to subtract the E0 value also. So minus 0.76 minus of minus 0.44. And when we rearrange the equation, and we will get this expression. But note down the E0 value, it is negative. And again recall, if E0 is negative, delta G0 will be positive. That represents non-spontaneous reaction. And in the question, it is asked, we are supposed to calculate the EMF of the spontaneous cell reaction. So equation 1 minus 2 is wrong. So what we have to do, we have to go for the reverse way, equation 2 minus 1. Now let us calculate equation 2 minus 1. First write the equation 2 and then equation 1, and as I said earlier, change the sign of the second equation and do the subtraction. While doing, the two electrons cancels each other, and we will get this equation Fe2 plus minus Zn2 plus gives Fe minus zinc, and the value, see that minus 0.44 minus of minus 0.76 volt. And rearranging this, you will get the cell representation as well as the E0 cell, and look at the sign of E0 cell, it is coming as positive. Recall, delta G0 is equal to minus NF E0. If E0 is positive, delta G0 is negative, that represents the spontaneity. So this E0 value is nothing but the EMF of the spontaneous cell reaction. Fine. So do we need to do this many steps really to do a simple problem? Absolutely no. See that, take this as equation 1 and take this as equation 2. Try for 1 minus 2 or 2 minus 1. Whichever is giving the positive E0, we can conclude that is a spontaneous cell reaction. In case if they ask for the final cell reaction, that is also possible without doing this much of calculation. See, in competitive exams and all, we will have very limited time, and within that time we need to do the problem, and if we write step by step, it takes pretty long time. So we need some shortcuts, right? So just look at the value of reduction potential. See, Zn2 plus 2 zinc reduction potential value is minus 0.76, which is more negative than the Fe2 plus 2 Fe. See, the more the negative value indicates the species is ready to get oxidized. The more positive value indicates the species is ready to get reduced. So in this case, the more negative value is from the reduction potential of Zn2 plus 2 zinc. So zinc will get oxidized in this case. See that? So just write the equation, zinc is getting oxidized to zinc 2 plus ion, and ultimately if zinc is getting oxidized, ion should, Fe2 plus should get reduced. So this will come as Fe2 plus 2 Fe. So, and we know the E0 value by calculating 2 minus 1 or 1 minus 1, whichever is coming as positive, we can conclude. In another way also we can calculate, see, E0, there is another formula, E0 is equal to E0 of cathode minus E0 of anode. See here, the cathode is nothing but your Fe2 plus TFE, because at cathode reduction takes place. See this, Fe2 plus TFE reduction takes place, so that is taken as the cathode. So this value, so minus 0.44, and anode is nothing but your Zn2 plus 2 zinc couple, so minus 0.76. So again, if you calculate, you will end up with positive E0 value. So by means of any of this method, you can easily calculate the E0 cell of the reaction. The cell representation can be given like this, since Zn to Zn2 plus acts as the anode, and it is written in the oxidation half cell, and the Fe2 plus 2 Fe couple is the reduction half cell, it is written in the right hand side of the salt bridge. Let us work out one more problem. Calculate the EMF of the spontaneous cell reaction. The reduction potentials of Cr3 plus 2 Cr as well as copper 2 plus 2 copper are given. So similar to the last problem, let us first write the reduction half cell reaction for both the redox couples. Here for the reduction of Cr3 plus 2 Cr, it needs 3 electron, and for the reduction of copper 2 plus 2 copper, it needs 2 electron. In our last problem, the number of electron is same for both the redox couple, but here it is different. To solve this, we must equate the number of electrons in both the redox reaction, and hence we must take the LCM, and the LCM here is 6 for 3, 2. So we must multiply the equation 1 by a factor of 2 and equation 2 by a factor of 3. See, while multiplying the equation 1 and 2 by a factor of 2 and 3 respectively, do we need to multiply the E naught values also? Here only students often make mistake. See, when they multiply the redox reaction by some factor to equate the number of electrons, they often multiply the E naught values also. Actually, we should not do it. We should not multiply the E naught value with any factors, because E naught is an intensive property. Recall what is intensive property? Intensive property does not depend on mass. See, remember that the electrical service providers supply 240 volts of electricity to our home. Using the same 240 volt, we can run all the electrical equipments. See, for if 240 volt is required for one equipment, for two electrical equipments, 480 is not required. With that same 240 volt, you can run all the electrical equipments. This means that voltage does not depend on the numbers, that is the mass. See, here for the reduction of copper 2 plus 2 copper, it requires 0.34 volt. That means what? 0.34 volt is enough to reduce any number of moles of copper 2 plus ion. That is the physical meaning here. So try to understand the physical meaning to avoid confusion while solving the problems. After multiplying by the factor 2 and 3, we will get these equations. Now look at this, the number of electrons in this case is same. Now we can solve these equations very comfortably. Our next job is to find equation 1 minus 2 or 2 minus 1, and whichever gives the positive E naught value, that will be the final galvanic cell equation. Here 2 minus 1 will give the positive E naught value. So write down the equation 2 followed by equation 1 and change the sign of the equation 1. After solving this, we will end up with positive E naught value. Since E naught is positive, delta G naught will be negative, and that is the spontaneous cell reaction. The cell representation is given by, see that in the cell representation, chromium to chromium 3 plus is in the oxidation half cell and copper 2 plus 2 copper is in the reduction half cell. Look at the final cell equation. So chromium is getting oxidized and copper 2 plus is getting reduced. By seeing the value also, you can confirm the same. See, the more the positive, easy to get reduced. So copper 2 plus 2 copper is having the more positive value in this case. So that will be the reduction half cell. And since the value of Cr3 plus 2 Cr is in negative, that will prefer oxidation. Fine. And to calculate the EMF, we can follow the same tactics. Since we are not multiplying the E naught value by any factors, we can again do the same tactics. So 1 minus 2 or 2 minus 1, and whichever gives the positive E naught, that will be the EMF of the galvanic cell. But while writing the final cell equation, we must follow all these steps. Now let us learn how to calculate the standard change in free energy. We know this expression delta G naught is equal to minus n of E naught, where n is the number of electrons and F is the Faraday's constant. By knowing E naught value, we can calculate delta G naught easily. So this is the results of problem 1. The E naught value is given for this galvanic cell reaction. So we can easily calculate delta G naught. So delta G naught is equal to minus 2 into Faraday's constant multiplied by the E naught value. Here the number of electrons involved in this cell reaction is 2. Often students make mistakes here. See, they will consider while solving this problem, they will think it is 4. See, Fe2 plus 2 Fe, 2 electrons are involved, zinc 2 plus 2 zinc. They will think they will just add these two and make it as 4 electrons. Absolutely no. See, the electrons that is generated due to the oxidation of zinc to zinc 2 plus will be accepted by Fe2 plus and gets reduced to Fe. So the common factor we have to take, we should not add these two. So the number of electrons involved in this particular cell reaction is only 2, it is not 4. So after solving this, we will get the delta G naught value and we can convert into kilojoules by dividing the joules by 1000. So using electrochemistry, we can calculate equilibrium constant also. First, let us derive the relationship between equilibrium constant and delta G naught. The relationship between delta G and delta G naught will be given by delta G is equal to delta G naught plus RT ln Q, where Q is known as the reaction quotient. At equilibrium, delta G is equal to 0. So when we apply this, 0 is equal to delta G naught plus RT ln Q. On rearranging, delta G naught is equal to minus RT ln K. At equilibrium, Q can be expressed as K. And this is another important formula to calculate the equilibrium constant. We can also relate the equilibrium constant with E naught also. Let us derive that. So we have two expression, delta G naught is equal to minus n of E naught as well as delta G naught is equal to minus RT ln K. While equating these two, see, we can cancel the minus symbol and we can convert the ln to the base ek, that is natural logarithm, into log to the base 10 by this expression 2.303 log to the base 10 k. See, I have bring the Faraday's constant in the right hand side. The purpose is to calculate this. So the 2.303 RT by F at 25 degrees Celsius will be a constant, that is 0.0591. And remember this expression, we will use the same one while deriving the Nernst equation also. So on rearranging, we will get this final expression that relates the equilibrium constant as well as the E naught. One more problem. Calculate the standard cell potential of the galvanic cell and the cell reaction is given. See, it is mentioned that it is galvanic cell. If it is galvanic cell, the E naught must be positive because galvanic cell reactions are spontaneous. So we must get the positive E naught and delta G naught, of course it will be negative. And we are supposed to calculate the equilibrium constant also here. The given data are the reduction potentials of cadmium 2 plus 2 cadmium as well as chromium 3 plus 2 chromium are given. The number of electrons involved in the redox couple is not same. See, in the case of cadmium 2 plus 2 cadmium, 2 electrons are involved, and chromium 3 plus 2 chromium, 3 electrons are involved. Although we can do the same tactics because we are not going to multiply the E naught value by any factor. So take this as 1 and take this as 2. Calculate 1 minus 2 or 2 minus 1, and whichever is giving the positive E naught, that will be the EMF of the cell, galvanic cell. If we go by step, write down the half cell reactions for both the redox couple. Since the number of electrons are not same, take LCM and multiply with the respective factors. So equation 1 has to be multiplied by 3 and equation 2 has to be multiplied by 2 to equate the number of electrons, and try to find out equation 1 minus 2 or 2 minus 1, and whichever is giving the positive E naught, and if you work out we get the positive E naught. So in this case chromium is getting oxidized and cadmium 2 plus is getting reduced. That also you can find out by seeing the reduction potential value. See, again see that the more negative value indicates the species is getting oxidized. See here the Cr3 plus to Cr reduction potential value is more negative, that is minus 0.74. That species is getting oxidized. You can see that species is getting oxidized compared to Cr3 plus to Cr. Cd2 plus to Cd is having the less negative, that is getting reduced, and the number of electrons involved in this case is 6. See the common factor, it is 6. So we can easily calculate delta G naught. So delta G naught is equal to minus NF E naught. So N is 6, F is Faraday's constant, and E naught is the calculated one, that is 0.377. So we can calculate delta G naught and we can convert into kilojoules by dividing by 1000. So we have calculated the cell potential as well as the delta G naught. Now we need to calculate the equilibrium constant. The equilibrium constant can be related to delta G naught as well as E naught using these formulas. See which formula has to be used to calculate the equilibrium constant easily. To my point, if you use the second expression, it is easy to calculate the equilibrium constant compared to the first one, because in the first equation that involves the gas constant, temperature, and the conversion of natural logarithm to log to the base 10, so that makes the problem tedious. So if you use the second formula, see the N is the number of electrons, that is 6 in this case, and E naught value is 0.377 volt and 0.0591 is the constant, and that can be approximated to 0.06. So if you approximate, you can cancel this easily, and when we solve this we will get approximately 37.7. that is also can be approximated to 38. If logarithmic table is not provided, making it as a whole number is always have an advantage. See, k is equal to antilog of 38, that is nothing but 10 to the power 38. To solve electrochemistry problem, we must have the knowledge in solving logarithmic based problems. So the next one is the most important topic in electrochemistry, the Nernst equation. So Nernst got Nobel Prize for deriving this equation at 1920, and it talks about the effect of concentration on cell potential. If the electrolyte concentration in the galvanic cell is not 1 molar, then the EMF of the cell can be calculated by using Nernst equation. First let us derive the Nernst equation. So delta G naught and delta G can be related by using this formula. Delta G is equal to delta G naught plus RT ln Q, where Q is known as the reaction quotient. And we know that delta G naught is equal to minus NF E naught. When we apply this in this equation, minus NF E is equal to minus NF E naught plus RT ln Q. And when we simplify this, we will get this expression E is equal to E naught minus RT by NF ln Q. And converting natural logarithm into log to the base 10 by using this expression, we will get the Nernst equation. Suppose in case if the temperature is 25 degrees Celsius and this factor, that is 2.303 by RT by F, will be equal to 0.0591 only at 25 degrees Celsius. If the temperature is not 25 degrees Celsius, we must use this expression to calculate the EMF of the galvanic cell. If the temperature is given as 25 degrees Celsius, we can comfortably use this expression to calculate the EMF of the galvanic cell. In case if the temperature is not provided in the problem, we must take this expression because usually the electrochemical reactions are carried out only at 25 degrees Celsius. Now let us practice few problems using Nernst equation. Calculate the electrode potential of copper which is dipped in 0.1 molar of copper sulfate solution. The standard reduction potential of copper 2 plus 2 copper is equal to 0.34, that is given in the problem. Since the concentration of the electrolyte is not 1 molar, the EMF of the half cell will vary from the standard reduction potential. To calculate that, first let us write the reduction half cell reaction and the corresponding Nernst equation. Here I have used the term 0.0591 because in the problem the temperature is not given. If the temperature is not given, it is assumed that the temperature is 25 degrees Celsius. So we can use this particular expression. When we substitute E naught value and we can also approximate this 0.0591 into 0.06, that will simplify the calculation. And activity of the solid electrode can be taken as 1. See that? And if we substitute the concentration of the copper 2 plus ion which is given in the problem, that is 0.1 molar, that is nothing but 10 to the power minus 1, and when we bring this term up it will be converted into log 10, and we know that log 10 to the base 10 is equal to 1. When we solve this we will get 0.31 volt. See that in this case the EMF of this cell is different from the E naught, which is lesser than the standard reduction potential. So if the electrolyte concentration is lesser, then ultimately E will be lesser than E naught. In case if the concentration of the electrolyte is greater than 1 molar, what will happen? See that here we have taken 10 molar of copper sulfate solution instead of 0.1 molar. Now let us do the same steps. We will write the Nernst equation and substitute the concentrations. So the concentration of the copper 2 plus ion in this case is 10. When we bring it up, it is 10 to the power minus 1, and this minus 1 can be brought into the front as per the logarithmic rules. So when we solve this we will get 0.37 volt. So now E is greater than E naught. If the electrolyte concentration is lesser than 1 molar, then E is less than E naught. If the electrolyte concentration is greater than 1 molar, then E is also greater than E naught. The next problem is calculate the potential of hydrogen electrode in contact with a solution whose pH is 10. And this is one of the most frequently asked problem in competitive examination. Remember, in standard hydrogen electrode, the platinum rod will be dipped in 1 molar of sulfuric acid solution, but here it is dipped in a solution whose pH is 10. That means the concentration of H plus ion will be 10 to the power minus 10 molar, which is much lesser than the 1 molar standard condition. So now we are going to study the effect of concentration of H plus ion on hydrogen electrode. For that purpose, first let us write the reduction half cell reaction of hydrogen electrode, and we know that the standard reduction potential of hydrogen electrode is 0 volt, and we will write the Nernst equation. Since the temperature is not mentioned in the problem, it is assumed that the temperature is 25 degrees Celsius, so we can use this particular expression, and substituting E naught and N we will get this expression. And the activity of hydrogen can be taken as 1 because it is evolved at platinum electrode, that is solid. Usually the activity of solid is taken as 1. If we bring this denominator into numerator, we will get this one, and as per the logarithmic rule, the minus 2 can be brought to the front and it will cancel each other. Since there are 2 nitrogen, the whole quantity will become positive. Remember that this is nothing but negative pH, because pH is equal to negative logarithm of concentration of H plus. So we will end up with this expression. So in the problem it is given the pH is 10. So the potential of the hydrogen electrode at pH 10 is nothing but minus 0.591 volt. Remember here E is less than that of E naught, because the concentration of H plus ion is lesser than 1 molar in this particular case. So the next problem is write the Nernst equation and calculate EMF of the cell at 298 Kelvin, that is nothing but 25 degrees Celsius. Look at the concentration of the electrolyte, it is not 1 molar, so we must know that the EMF of this galvanic cell will be different from standard EMF of the galvanic cell. So to calculate the EMF of this galvanic cell, first we need to calculate the E naught cell by using the standard procedure. So for that, let's write the reduction half cell reactions of both the redox couples and calculate 1 minus 2 or 2 minus 1 to get positive E naught. Here 1 minus 2 will give the E naught cell as positive and the value is plus 2.70 volt. Now let us write the Nernst equation for this particular equation. So the Nernst equation will be given by, since the temperature is 25 degrees Celsius, we can comfortably use this expression, substituting the E naught and the number of electrons. Here it is 2. Look at the value, it is 2. And the reaction quotient can be mentioned as concentration of copper, the product by reactant. Since the activity of solid will be taken as 1, this equation will be reduced to like this, and this 0.0591 can be approximated to 0.06. After substituting the concentration of magnesium 2 plus and copper 2 plus, we will get this particular expression. See that? And the Q, that is the reaction quotient, will come as 10, and we know that log 10 to the base 10 equal to 1, so we will finally end up with the E value as 2.67. Look at this, here E is lesser than E naught, so 2.67 is the E value and 2.70 is the E naught value. So E is less than E naught because Q is greater than 1. If Q is greater than 1, we can relate that E is less than E naught. Suppose if we swap the concentration, what will happen? Let us study that. When we exchange the concentration between magnesium 2 plus and the copper 2 plus, by doing the same steps, we will end up with the EMF of the cell as 2.73 volt, which is higher than the E naught value. See here, look at this, the Q value is less than 1 and hence E is greater than E naught. Let us consolidate the results of the last two problems. See, in the last two problems, only the concentration of copper 2 plus and magnesium 2 plus has been swapped. The overall cell reaction in both the cases will be same, and the E naught cell is also same. See, E naught does not depend on the concentration, only E depends on concentration. So E naught is same for both the problems. And only the value of Q that decides whether E is greater than E naught or E is less than E naught. See, in problem 7, Q value is greater than 1, so E is less than E naught. In problem 8, Q is less than 1 and hence E is greater than E naught. If you wish to work out more problems on electrochemistry, I have given a Google form link in the description. You can try it out. In our next video on electrochemistry, we will discuss about electrolytic cell, Faraday's law, specific conductance and molar conductance. Thank you so much for listening. If you have any doubts, you can reach me through my email ID. Thank you so much.